stage for the Astros needing to do well here at home. Playing to Win is brought to you by Toyota Tundra, showing you that, yes, Jose Altuve continues to play at a peak, and the Astros that were outscored in that series 16-10. So the Rangers did a good job of pitching against the Astros, and tonight the Rangers have Colby Lewis on the mound, and he has absolutely had the Astros number to the tune of 9-1 lifetime with an ERA of under 3. So the Evan Gattis bat could play well the way he swung it in Chicago against the White Sox. Anybody welcome, certainly offensively, for the Astros to try to do a number on this Texas pitching staff. The weakness of the Rangers has been their bullpen, and the Astros, of course, would love to have a lead before they get into that Texas bullpen. But it's also a big night, as we've already heard from Lance McCullers with his second start of the year, guys. And so I think there's a lot to watch for in tonight's game as the Astros get the Rangers at home for the first time this season.
Well, Brownie, give us your take on what the temperature of this team is. Obviously, when they left this ballpark a week ago, they weren't feeling very good about the situation they were in. But after that last road trip, they actually played pretty well, especially against the White Sox. Feel like this team is in a better place right now?
I think so. I think gaining in confidence, and A.J. Hinch talked about this team in the month of May. He likes the way they've played this month so far. Those were 3 one-run ball games in Boston. So they've been playing and losing some of the close games, but nonetheless very, very competitive and just kind of off a little bit in some of the losses. So it all comes back to me, Mike, to starting pitching, setting the tone for this team.
Good stuff, Brownie. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Look forward to your work of the game tonight. This series got really fun last year when they had the little dust-up. Remember around home plate? Yeah, when Odor decided he was going to take his sweet time about getting in the batter's box. So that made it a lot of fun. Tonight, Lance McCullers on the hill for the Stros. Brendan Agins will join us in a moment to talk more about Lance.
This is the first of 6 games on this homestand for the Astros. 3 with the Rangers, 3 with Baltimore next week starting Tuesday night. For more on tonight's game, let's go down in the field, and we join Brendan Agins.
Thanks so much, Brownie. Obviously, the Astros are happy to be back at Minute Maid Park, coming off their first road series win of the year. And Lance McCullers is even more excited to be back in Houston as he'll make his 2016 home debut tonight. In 2015, McCullers went 4-1 in 10 starts with a 1.86 ERA. And with opponents' batting average, he was Cy Young-like. Dallas Keuchel, who was the AL Cy Young, had an opponent's average of 186. McCullers was a little bit worse, but still held opponents to a 188 batting average at Minute Maid Park. That's impressive stuff for a rookie or any right-handed pitcher. Now the Rangers will have a formidable task if they hope to beat McCullers tonight at Minute Maid Park. Next up, we'll have lineups in first pitch with Brownie and Ash.
Regresa a Mayagüez la Repoferia 2016. Tu oportunidad de adquirir autos usados y reposeídos directamente del banco desde $2,995 y a precio de subasta. 13 al 23 de mayo en la carretera número 2. Estacionamiento Antiguo Hospital de Veteranos en Mayagüez.
Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Lexus, the new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. By Jack in the Box. Taste the Jumbo-licious jumbo meal before it's gone. Only at Jack in the Box. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. It's a beautiful night here at Minute Maid Park. The Astros take the field on a big and bright Friday night. Fireworks coming up after the game. And it's a Lance McCullers start for the second time for the Astros this season. He lost both of his starts last year against the Texas Rangers. As he takes the mound tonight, he'll be opposed by Colby Lewis, who is 2-0, and he is a very worthy opponent. Lewis has really done well against the Astros in his career. So for McCullers and the Astros, it's a chance to get their first win of the season against the Texas Rangers, who have this starting lineup. Shin-Soo Choo has just come back from the disabled list. He's the right fielder and leadoff man. It's Ian Desmond in center field. Prince Fielder, the DH, bats third, with Adrian Beltre cleaning it up at third base. Rougned Odor bats fifth at second base. It's Mitch Moreland at first base, Nomar Mazara in left field, Bobby Wilson the catcher, Elvis Andrews the shortstop.
Lance McCullers, as Brownie said, on the mound for the Astros tonight, has that big-time fastball. Can he come back after one start now on the season and come back strong? That was the big thing over the course of the spring. Unable to bounce back after any given throwing session. But he appears to be healthy, ready to go. A guy that could utilize that hard fastball and slider in on some of these left-handed bats, especially guys like Prince Fielder, who's not swinging it well and really battling the inside pitch. They've got some left-handed bats. Even Rougned Odor can be worked hard inside. So one of those nights for Lance now to settle back into this rotation and become the big star that he's capable of being.
He certainly brings that firepower to the mound. The Astros very happy to welcome him back to the rotation. Last time he was victimized by that one big inning that Brendan talked about earlier. And now it's Chu to get it started. So Chu reclaims his spot in right field, and Mazara, who has filled in very capably in right, moves to left with the veteran Chu bringing a 188 batting average into this game. He was on the disabled list the first time these two clubs met in Arlington, and he's had just 16 at-bats this year with 3 hits for those numbers. First game since April 8th for Chu, who was out with a calf strain. Infield shifts around for him, and the high fastball, ball 1. Nick Lentz is the home plate umpire for McCullers. And that one's up. 2 balls, no strikes. Chu is 33 years old. He hit 22 homers last year for the Rangers, driving in 82. Now taking something off at McCullers, still missed, and he falls behind 3-0.
We've only seen up to 90 miles an hour to this point from Lance, so that's unusual.
It's in for strike 1. Yeah, normally his fastball clocks in the mid-90s.
Working on that new arm stroke, and it's all about trying to maintain the health of the shoulder.
Leadoff walk to Chu.
Well, Chu is really about the walk, a guy you want to pump some early strikes on and force him to swing the bat.
McCullers walked 3 in 4 2/3 innings at Boston. And now he works from the stretch to Ian Desmond. Desmond at 275 has 6 homers, 25 runs batted in, and he's picked it up this month at 329 for Desmond. He's adjusted well to playing the outfield and had been primarily the left fielder, but now playing a lot of center field recently. Former shortstop takes strike 1.
Little velocity starting to slip in there now for Lance.
Desmond had a 2-for-4 game Wednesday. The Rangers had the day off yesterday. They were swept in a 3-game series at Oakland to start this road trip. 1-1. We haven't seen too many nights like this at Minute Maid Park. The roof was closed until just before game time, then it rolled back. So the ballpark has been cooled with air conditioning. Now that sun is dropping, and it should be a beautiful night, especially with the fireworks due after the game. It's 2-1.
I think it's really hard for any pitcher, young pitcher, veteran pitcher, to try to come up with a new arm stroke. And again, about trying to maintain the health of the shoulder, but I think it creates a different slot that you start throwing from, and suddenly the strike zone becomes foreign to you.
Weiner toward the right field line and into the seats. 2-2 to Desmond. Well, McCullers really broke in with some pressure games last year. Lance, 22 years old, was 6-7 with a 3.22 ERA, and pitched that fine game here in the postseason against Kansas City last year.
Think about Lance. The hits per 9 innings were way down in the 7s. So you know he's got the kind of stuff that can dominate games.
He's been outstanding in this ballpark. 4-1 with a 1.86 ERA. Colby Rasmus well over into right center field. Foul back. With Prince Fielder on deck. Rangers have a good attack. They're second in runs scored in the American League with 186.
They're not that big home run hitting team, though. They've been rather balanced. They run well. Not among the leaders necessarily. They don't hit the home run with the top clubs, and yet they score runs.
Foul away, and here's a battle that Desmond keeps alive at 2 balls, 2 strikes after that foul ball.
Another aspect that's really unusual as we watch this replay on the slider, the first one that Lance is able to get into the strike zone. Prince Fielder has really not been a big part of what the Rangers have done offensively.
Adrian Beltre is really hitting well with men in scoring position, and this entire Texas team leads the league in batting average with runners in scoring position at .302. This battle is a prolonged one.
Yeah, and Lance doesn't need a lot of this type at bat throughout the course of the game. Otherwise, he doesn't get deep into the game. Don't know that there's a limitation at all on him tonight in terms of pitch count.
He threw 88 pitches in his first start of the year at Boston last time around. He gets a punch out on Desmond.
Takes till the 13th pitch to get that first out. So a big thing for Lance, get in the zone early. As we take a look now at our strike zone, brought to you by MD Anderson. See how Lance puts the polish on this one. A good slider that starts in the strike zone, induces the swing by Desmond, and he does get that first out via the punch out.
He is working on extra rest. He started last Friday night in Boston. Now the infield shifts around for Prince Fielder. As Ash mentioned, he's subpar at 195 right now with 2 homers, 21 runs batted in.
I see Castro set up a way, Brownie, which goes against the scouting reports that I've heard on Prince Fielder. He has really struggled with the fastball in.
He's hit only 193 in his last 22 games, 195 for this season, but he has raked in his career at Minute Maid Park, 15 homers in this ballpark. For his career overall, he has 30 long balls against the Astros with 104 runs batted in and a .303 lifetime batting average against Houston pitching. In for a strike to Fielder. Colin Moran is the third baseman tonight.
Looks like the 2-seamer right here. A little sinking action. And spotted it very, very well.
So 2 relative newcomers on the left side of that field for the Astros, with Moran at third and Kemp in left field in this game. Fouled, and it's 1-2.
We saw Tony Kemp with that very fine play immediately from left field a couple of nights ago. You see Colin Moran, but in terms of Tony Kemp, not a big strong arm, and left field is going to be ideal for him.
His sister is here tonight to see his home debut for the Astros.
His mom was a big star on the tube a couple of nights ago.
Yeah, he said his parents loved coming to Chicago. That was a short trip for them. Chopped up the middle. Altuve spears it and throws him out. Safe at second base, but he got the out at first on a difficult play. Couldn't beat Chu to the bag, but he retired Fielder.
You get these shifts and the roles change. You see Carlos Correa and Altuve chatting just briefly, but Carlos Correa was unable to get the read that Altuve was going to come up with this baseball. Therefore, Correa went after it himself rather than going to the bag. If he goes to the bag, the Astros turn a double play.
Two outs, and now here's Beltre, a .405 hitter with runners in scoring position. Beltre takes it. It's strike one for Nick Lentz. Beltre has 27 runs batted in to lead the Ranger club. He has 7 homers with a .271 batting average. Yeah, he's the last active player to homer in the Dome.
That's just your way of saying he's old.
He's still good, isn't he? 0-2.
Man, is he ever. And they say he's playing third base, a guy that's already known as a great third baseman defensively, maybe playing it as well as he ever has in his career.
37 years old. The Rangers have really delivered in these situations. Yeah, his home run came off Butch Henry back in '99 at the Dome. That was Doug Henry. That was a short hopper to first base. Valbuena has a good play by Valbuena, and it's no runs, no hits, and one man left. No score early. Rangers fail to score. Now the Astros come up against Colby Lewis with this lineup for A.J. Hinch, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jose Altuve is on an 11-game hitting streak. He leads it off at 345 at second base. It's George Springer in right field, Carlos Correa at short, Colby Rasmussen center field, Evan Gattis the DH, Colin Moran at third base, Luis Valbuena at first, Jason Castro the catcher, Tony Kemp the left fielder batting ninth.
And it's the veteran right-hander Colby Lewis on the hill. He wins. He's 2-0 on the season, picking up a bunch of no decisions. He's come up with 5 consecutive quality starts. He gives up the long ball, and that could be accentuated here in this ballpark.
10 home runs surrendered in 52 innings. He's gotten those first pitch strikes at a high rate. And it's Jose Altuve ready to square off against him. Taking the first one, it's upstairs for ball one. Altuve leads the league in total bases. On that 11-game hitting streak, he's hit .422, .345 for the season, 9 homers, 26 runs batted in. Sensational year for Altuve. 1-1.
It's about time for one of those leadoff dingers again, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's been a little while for him. Couple weeks, maybe. That's in the air, and the catcher, Bobby Wilson, goes over for it. Here's the first baseman, Moreland there. Wilson over the rail. And that's quite an effort by Wilson.
Wow, he had that ball in his glove, too.
Trey Hillman helping him.
I'm hoping to hear that Trey Hillman pulled the ball right out of the glove.
He didn't quite catch it. This is quite an effort, though.
This ball go into the glove, and now that effort to maintain, just trying to stay without falling in the dugout and proving he is not Tony Eusebio.
Oh, boy. That was a rough one he had. Altuve grounds it right back to Lewis. 1 out. Lewis has been absolutely amazing against the Houston Astros. In his career, he's 73 and 67 with a 4.73 ERA. So his ERA against Houston is a full 2 runs lower than his career ERA. And counting his time in Japan, he has 99 professional wins at the major league level and Japanese level. George Springer with 9 homers, 25 runs batted in, has a .259 average. And he looks at a tough one. There's strike 1. Springer really had a good road trip.
We've got a little bit of a broad strike zone early on. The pitchers should be able to get a little benefit from that.
1 ball, 1 strike. Springer with 2 homers and 8 runs batted in while hitting .303 on that road trip. Really had some big blows. Foul tip there makes it 1-2 to George. He's on an 8-game hitting streak. And .297 has been his average during the 8 games of that streak. The Astros are 10-10 here at Minute Maid Park. Tapped and right by the mound. Here's the second baseman Odor trying to make a spectacular play. And that's an infield hit for Springer and a 9-game hitting streak.
And a big mistake by Colby Lewis. He had his glove as he finishes kind of falling behind him, so he just tried to go behind the back, and he cost himself an out right here. If he just turns and feels this very slowly hit ball, watch the glove. So, well, let's just go ahead and see if we can do it this way. Once that gets by the mound, you're not going to get George Springer.
Despite the best efforts of Odor, quite an effort. Carlos Correa has Springer at first. And there's ball 1. Correa, a .266 hitter, has 7 homers, 20 runs batted in, and 4 for 9 with 2 homers against Lewis in his career.
The Astros love to run, but there won't be any running game if that slide step we saw on the first pitch here continues throughout the night. No, it doesn't on that one.
1-1. Just watching Lewis with that delivery. He squared up that time, but on the ball hit up the middle by Springer, he really fell off toward the first base line.
And it was odd the way he just stayed in position. He had plenty of time to turn and glove the ball.
36-year-old veteran. 1-2 to Correa.
That slide step again. It's hard to understand why a guy like Colby Lewis would have such tremendous career success against the Astros.
Odor now gets the out at second and then safe at first. Ball took a bad hop on him. He was moving to his left, and then he had to jam on the brakes and stab it back to his right to get the force on Springer.
That was an extremely unusual hop, and it no doubt helped the Astros. You see Odor talking about that ball bounced just like this. Watch it. See if we can catch a glimpse of it. But as the ball hits the grass, it just goes dead to Odor's right. Back up the middle. He had to just totally react and make a nice play just to get an out.
He did. Now Colby Rasmus on a 5-game hitting streak has Correa at first and 2 outs. Inside for ball one on Rasmus, a .234 hitter with 8 homers, 30 runs batted in. He had a nice series in Arlington with 3 hits in the 3 games, including 2 homers. It's 1-1. Rasmus is a .238 career hitter with a homer against Colby Lewis. Colby versus Colby.
That last home run he hit in Chicago was mauled.
Oh, yeah. Many roads up, but in May, he's hitting .200. It's 1-2. Slider's been a very big pitch for Colby Lewis. He's throwing it 32% of the time this year. He has had first inning difficulties, though, with a 6.75 ERA in the first inning of his games. This is his 9th start. He won 17 and lost 9 last year for the Rangers. And the throw went over to first on Correa, who is 7 for 9 in steals. There have been only 12 steals against the Rangers this season in 41 games, and 7 have been caught stealing. Ripped up the line, but foul.
Well, if part of the philosophy is this slide stepper we're watching most of the time from Colby Lewis, you can understand why there would be no running game against this club.
Last year, Colby Lewis faced the Astros 5 times. He was 4-0 with a 4.15 ERA in those games. Runner going, and it's a strikeout to end the Houston first with no runs, a hit, and a man left. No score after 1.
With the first pick in the 2015 NBA draft, Karl Anthony Towns.
Anthony Towns on the board for the first time.
Wow. Towns come out of nowhere.
Towns says, okay, I'll take 2 instead of 3.
Wiggins off the no-lift feed from Cat. Towns off the feed and the dunk. Boz, nice cut. Gets stripped of the basketball, but that's okay because Towns is there to clean it up. Towns has back-to-back threes.
Quick spin move. Towns jump it. Nice move over faders.
Rondo. Oh, rejection by the rookie.
The bigs have done it. Getting to play. His territory. He has to step up.
Rudio showing up the Euro step. Cat sending it the other way. What a pass by Towns as he feeds Wiggins. What a feed. Rubio to Towns. And yes, sir. And 1 for Karl Anthony. Behind the back to Prince and the triple. That was nifty.
Those two connect all the time. Karl Anthony Towns.
Towns all the way to the rack in the flush.
Ball's coming to me. I'll get it.
Take a look, though, at the jam here by Towns. Great pass by Rubio.
Rejected by Towns, and we're going to overtime here in Orlando.
Look at the reaction out of Towns. How great is that?
Rubio feeds Karl Anthony, and Cat attacks the rim. Oh, the crowd loves that.
There's Towns to the bucket. What a performance by the rookie.
Underneath, gets it to go! Towns with the basketball going behind the back, short off the handle, gets it all the way to the rack, the high dribble, the finger roll, and it goes! Oh, baby! On top of everything, Jim, he's a showman as well.
We played an inning, scoreless baseball, and some great-looking fans on hand here tonight. It's time now for the Geico quote of the day. Colin McHugh on Evan Gattis. Colin says of Evan Gattis, who caught him last night, it's been a couple of years since he's been back there, meaning behind the plate. He's solid. He's a big league catcher. And everybody needs to understand that because he did a phenomenal job both calling the game and blocking. Colin provided a lot of curveballs in the dirt. And Evan Gattis was up to the task. Did a very nice job.
Now Jeremiah Randall out with a tongue depressor for Lance McCullers. Apparently he needed that with his spikes collecting some mud. So he is ready to go now before facing Rougned Odor in the second inning. It hasn't rained. The mound is not muddy that we're aware of, right?
Maybe he just brought it from a wet part of the clubhouse or something.
His ball one to Odor. A real lightning rod of a player. 275, 7 homers, 21 runs batted in. He hasn't been hitting much lately except Jose Bautista.
That was a solid hit, though.
It was a big hit. An 8-game suspension kind of hit, but the appeal has not been heard yet, and we're hearing that maybe Monday the appeal will be heard on that 8-game suspension.
Which means Odor is available to play in this series, which is a little bit tough.
Liner to left field, in for a hit for Odor. Tony Kemp gets it back in. First hit for the Rangers. Here's the punch that rocked Bautista.
Well, it's rocked all of Major League Baseball. He has become a cult hero. Jose Bautista is not one of the more popular players, nor is Rougned Odor for that matter. But this changes the landscape very much.
Odor is aboard. He has 5 steals in 6 tries. Mitch Moreland, the batter. There is strike one. Moreland with 4 homers, 16 runs batted in, has a .250 batting average. Rangers as a team have not been hitting too well lately. They're hitting .224 the last 6 games. In for a strike, and it's 0-2. Jeff Bannister back where he grew up, second season as Rangers manager. Manager of the year, finishing ahead of A.J. Hinch in that balloting last year.
Boy, he got highly heated in that battle with the Blue Jays the other day.
Really did. 1-2.
There was going to be a wrestling match of some sort with Bannister and John Gibbons going at it.
Doug Brocail, former Astro and Astro pitching coach, is the Rangers pitching coach. Steve Buechele has his arm on the railing there, the bench coach. Good tight breaking pitch. Gets a strikeout from McCullers. That's number 2.
Well, Lance appears to have a little better slider going tonight than the fastball to this point. Very well done. Look at our Super Bowl replay brought to you by Mattress Firm. Always great shots. And that was a good slider.
Nomar Mazara has impressed us. Mazara, a .307 hitter with 5 homers, 13 runs batted in, just 21 years old. He looks at ball 1. Mazara had a couple of hits in the last game of the 3-game series in Arlington against the Astros. He leads American League rookies in batting average. He was called up from AAA Round Rock when Chu went on the disabled list, and he filled in quite capably in right field.
There's that slider again.
We saw his arm too, and he seems to have all the tools, Ash.
Look, he looked like a right fielder. Sometimes, as we now see Mazara playing in left field, it's about how you make other guys be able to play the positions they've played through their careers. Chu has been a right fielder, and they've decided to keep him there to kind of keep him where he's comfortable. But guaranteed, like you're saying, Brownie, Mazara showed that he can play in right and play it very well.
He was the American League Rookie of the Month for April.
He just played himself right onto this Rangers club.
I don't think they'll get him off this team, do you?
Not with the talent that we've seen. It's Luis Gonzalez's old batting stance right there.
You're right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the loser in this whole outfield situation was Delino DeShields. He was sent back to AAA Round Rock. With Mazzara playing so well, and now Chu coming back, and Desmond has acquitted himself well in center field.
I was wondering about DeShields if they were just sending him a message, but apparently he just earned his way back to the minor leagues. Didn't play well.
Close one, and McCullers is bouncing up and down. It's ball 3.
You make the call. Just drifts off the edge. I believe that was the change.
Looked like it. Had some good action down and away from the left-handed batter. Now, we've seen him work that change in more this year. That's interesting. We thought it was strike 3. Yeah, it was strike 3 call.
Yes.
Mazzara.
It is a double play. Should be.
The runner from first stopped. Odor.
What are we going to call now? It was clearly called a strike. It was right down the middle. Jason Castro throws a strike to second base, and the tag is made, and there is no way you can turn this into anything but a double play.
Field and Culbreth there is the crew chief and the umpire at second base, and he is not indicating that it's a double play.
Well, then he's wrong. You could hear the Astros bench with A.J. Hinch and company hollering out double play, and I cannot for the life of me come up with any reason why this is not a strikeout. Throw him out, double play.
No. Well, they're not making it a double play call. Let's take a look at it.
Okay, this pitch is a slider that bends right through there. It was called a strike.
They're calling a balk. That's what we're being told.
For what conceivable reason?
Don't know. So that's why Odor was just trotting to second base. A balk had been called, and the count's 3-2.
Boy, talk about a club that the Astros have made their own mistakes. There's no question about it. I wouldn't argue around that, but the breaks have gone very badly against them at times as well.
1 out, runner at second now. And it's bounced to Altuve's right. Good throw over to Valbuena. 2 outs, Odor to third base. We're going to have to check that again for what caused the balk call.
Let's see a balk here. Now, maybe he doesn't stop. There's a stop from, well,
okay.
Like so many guys, they've got multiple stops.
Yeah.
As long as you allow it once, you have to start allowing it all the time. And I don't know on what basis they called a balk there.
Bobby Wilson.
There's the stop again, just like the other one.
Yeah.
So one's a balk and one's not.
Okay.